In this video, we are going to explain the concept of environment, the role and importance of environment, how environmental degradation is having an adverse effect on our natural resources and endowments, and the basic problems related to environment, that is problem of pollution and problem of excessive exploitation of natural resources. What is environment? Environment is defined as all those conditions and their effects which influence human life. It is the sum total of surroundings and the totality of resources that affect our existence and quality of our life. According to Environment Protection Act 1986, environment includes water, air, and land, and the interrelationship which exist among and between water, air, and land, and human beings, and other living creatures, plants, microorganisms, and property. Environment is defined as the total planetary inheritance and the totality of all resources. So it includes all the biotic and abiotic factors that influence each other. While all living elements, the birds, animals, and plants, forests, fisheries, etc., are biotic elements. Abiotic elements include air, water, land, etc. Rocks and sunlight are examples of abiotic elements of the environment. A study of the environment then calls for a study of the interrelationship between these biotic and abiotic components of the environment. Now let us, what is the role and functions of the environment? Environment provides resources for production. Environment provides renewable and non-renewable resources for production. Renewable resources are those resources which do not get depleted or exhausted when used. In other words, a continuous supply of these resources remains unavailable. Examples of renewable resources are trees and plants in the forests and fishes in the ocean, whereas non-renewable resources are those resources which get exhausted with the extraction and use. Examples of non-renewable resources are fossil fuels like coal, gas, etc. It assimilates waste. The process of production and consumption generates a lot of wastage, mostly in the form of garbage. This wastage is absorbed by the environment. Environment sustains life. Environment includes basic necessities of life like sun, soil, water, and air, without which human and animal life and plant life cannot subsist. Environment provides aesthetic services. Environment includes land, forests, rivers, oceans, mountains, deserts, etc. People enjoy this scenic beauty of these surroundings, which is known as aesthetic services. This improves the quality of human life. Now, environmental degradation happens when the pressure on the environment is very high and it is forced to perform its functions beyond its carrying capacity. So, carrying capacity implies that the resources extraction is not above the rate of regeneration of the resource, and the wastes generated are within the assimilating capacity of the environment. When this is not so, the environment fails to perform its third and vital function of life sustenance, and this results in an environmental crisis. So, carrying capacity implies two things. Number one, the rate of resource extraction should remain less than the rate of resource generation so that resource endowment is not depleted. And number two, the waste generated should remain within the assimilating capacity of the environment. Another term is absorptive capacity. Absorptive capacity means the ability of the environment to absorb its degradation. Causes of environmental degradation. There are number of causes for environmental degradation. Number one, water pollution. Water quality has continued to deteriorate the world over because of a number of factors. The most widespread contamination of water occurs from industrial waste. Where industry and mining are expanding, rivers become contaminated with toxic chemicals and with heavy metals such as lead and mercury. These pollutants are hard to remove from drinking water with standard purification facilities. The capacity of rivers to support aquatic life has also decreased. Not only has surface water near towns and cities become increasingly polluted over the years, even groundwater has been contaminated as a result of seepage from the improper use and disposal of heavy metals, synthetic chemicals, and other hazardous wastes. Sometimes industrial effluents are discharged directly into groundwater. Water pollution is the most serious environmental problem for a large number of people in developing countries who lacks access to clean water and sanitation. The direct impact of water disease is huge, especially for children and the poor. They are most vulnerable. The main health impacts of unclean water and poor hygiene are diarrheal diseases, typhoid, and paratyphoid. Outdoor urban pollution. There is substantial research evidence from around the world that outdoor urban pollution has significant negative impact on public health and results in premature deaths, chronic bronchitis, and respiratory disorders. Particulate matter. What is particulate matter? Particulate matter is microscopic solid or liquid matter suspended in the atmosphere of Earth. So particulate matter, which is 2.5 or PM10, PM 2.5 and PM10, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, these are the pollutants, and sulfur dioxide concentrations are serious in countries that rely on high sulfur fuels. Nitrogen oxide is a smelly, toxic gas, creating ozone on the ground, a major component of smog and acid in the air. The gas, a product of vehicular engines and factories, irritates the eyes, nose, throat, causes shortness of breath, and aggravates respiratory illness such as asthma, especially in young children. Next is indoor pollution. World Health Organization estimates that 1.6 million people die each year globally due to smoke emanating from traditional fuels used inside the house. The most common is incomplete combustion of fuels such as wood, agricultural residues, animal dung, charcoal, and in some countries, coal. The biggest health hazard of indoor smoke is lower respiratory infections, which sometimes can cause even cancer of the respiratory system. Solid and hazardous wastes. Many towns and cities generate more solid waste than they can collect or dispose of. In many countries, open dumping and uncontrolled landfillings are resorted to. Inadequate collection and unmanaged disposal present a number of problems for human health and productivity. Uncollected refuse dumped in public areas or into waterways contributes to the spread of diseases. Municipal solid waste sites often receive industrial and hazardous waste, which may then seep into the water supply. Thus, in addition to spreading disease, solid and hazardous waste pollute the groundwater resources. Solid soil degradation. Main forms of soil degradation are soil erosion, salinization, and waterlogging. Soil erosion occurs when the surface soil is washed away through excessive rains and floods. Soil erosion denudes the agricultural land of its top fertile soil and thus affects agricultural productivity adversely. It also harms productivity by depositing silt in dams, irrigation systems, and river transport channels and by damaging fisheries. Salinization and water logging also affect the productivity of agricultural lands adversely. Next is deforestation. Forests are of immense value in protecting the environment. They provide livelihood and cultural integrity for forest dwellers and habitat for a wealth of plants and animals. They protect and enrich soil, provide natural regulations of the hydrologic cycle after local and regional climate through evaporation, influence watershed flows of surface water and groundwater, and help to stabilize the global climate by isolating and neutralizing carbon as they grow. Therefore, they play a useful role in preserving the ecological and environmental balance and in maintaining the biodiversity and ecosystem. Next is loss of biodiversity. Environmental damage also manifests itself in the form of loss of biodiversity. Atmospheric changes. Indiscriminate industrialization, urbanization, and environmental pollution are bringing about certain atmospheric changes which are likely to cause uncertain and irreversible hazards to future generations. Though we don't have any complete knowledge regarding these hazards, the scientists have drawn attention to two main hazards. One is greenhouse effect and global warming, and the second one is ozone depletion. Global warming. Global warming is a gradual increase in the average temperature of Earth's lower atmosphere as a result of increase in greenhouse gases. Much of the recent observed and projected global warming is human induced. It is caused by man made increases in carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases through the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, adding carbon dioxide, methane, and such other gases that have the potential to absorb heat to the atmosphere with no other changes will make our planet's surface warmer. So, what are the greenhouse gases? Water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, ozone, and nitrous oxide are all greenhouse gases which are naturally present in atmosphere. Factors contributing to global warming. What are the factors? Among factors that may be contributing to global warming are the burning of coal and petroleum products, which are sources of carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and ozone. So these are the greenhouse gases. Deforestation, which increases the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Methane gas released in animal waste, and increased cattle production, which contributes to deforestation, methane production, and use of fossil fuels. Kyoto Protocol. A UN conference on climate change held in Kyoto, Japan in 1997 resulted in an international agreement to fight global warming, which called for reduction in emission of greenhouse gases by industrialized nations. Ozone depletion. Ozone depletion refers to the phenomenon of reductions in the amount of ozone in stratosphere. The problem of ozone depletion is caused by high levels of chlorine and bromine compounds in the stratosphere. The origins of these compounds are chlorofluorocarbon (CFC), used as cooling substances in air conditioners and refrigerators, or as aeros- aerosol propellants, and bromofluorocarbons, which is called halogens, used in fire extinguishers. As a result of depletion of the ozone layer, more ultraviolet radiation comes to Earth and causes damage to living organisms. Ultraviolet radiation seems responsible for skin cancer in humans. It also lowers production of phytoplankton and thus affects other aquatic organisms. It can also influence the growth of terrestrial plants. The ozone layer prevents most harmful wavelengths of ultraviolet light from passing through the Earth's atmosphere. Observed and projected decreases in ozone have generated worldwide concern. This led to the adoption of the Montreal Protocol in 1987, banning the use of chlorofluorocarbon (CFC) compounds as well as other ozone depleting chemicals such as carbon tetrachloride, trichloroethane, which is known as methyl chloroform, and bromine compounds known as halogens. Now, these are the questions that you can answer from this video. What does environment include? What are the biotic elements? Biotic elements are the living elements. What are abiotic elements? Non-living elements, physical elements. What is the meaning of the term carrying capacity of the environment? What do you mean by the term absorptive capacity of the environment? Name some greenhouse gases. What has caused global warming? What is ozone depletion? What is Kyoto Protocol? Or in which year Kyoto Protocol started? Distinguish between biotic and abiotic elements of environment. What are the effects of ozone depletion? what are the functions of environment, and discuss the various forms of environmental degradation. That's all. Thank you.